Hey everyone, Robert Silver here, and today I am so tired, but I'm excited to bring to you my experience capturing a runway with the Nikon Z9 and Z8 for the Modern Ethnic Fashion Show to celebrate Juneteenth. Alright, so it was a fantastic evening of fashion, of beauty, of models, and yes, networking. I recommend, if possible, if you're trying to do more portrait photography and especially fashion photography and beauty photography, attend your local fashion shows. It's a great way to not only support others trying to do their thing, but to network. It's a network bonanza, really. You have all under one roof models, makeup artists, hairstylists, wardrobe stylists, fashion show producers, and other people in other areas of media that can get you further in your career. And what's great is I like talking to the photographers because they often have other events or other people that they may recommend for you to network with and get to know. So they're not always your direct competitors. A lot of times these are your colleagues who in which can help get you in certain doors. So shout out to all the photographers and videographers that I was sharing the media pit with for the Modern Ethnic Fashion Show. It was a great evening. As I mentioned in my most previous video, what's in my camera bag for a fashion show runway photography, I had the Nikon Z9 with the Z70 to 200mm f2.8 lens, and then I had the Z8 with the Z24 to 70mm f2.8 lens. Now the Z9, I had a 512GB CF Express Type B card in there, and then I had a 128GB card inside of the Z8, which also was a CF Express Type B card. So with all that said, let's get to the results. So as you can tell, I took a lot of photos. Right here, 4,032 pictures. And that's just JPEG and RAW. So when I got home, it was like 9,000. It was crazy. It took up about over 350 gigs on that 512 gig card. It was crazy. I didn't realize I took that many, but I had it on slow high speed, so it was 10 frames a second, and it just gobbled it up. My actual settings for this was RAW plus JPEG fine, and I believe I left it on star, and the JPEGs were on large, so it was full res RAW and then full size large size JPEG. So that was 45 megapixel JPEGs at the same time, being shot, captured, recorded. I was actually really impressed with the buffer on the Z9 and how well it did. And if I had done it, if I were to do it again, I'd put it on small JPEG because the way we use these images, for the most part, JPEG, you don't need anything more than 5 megabytes. So you really don't need 11, quite honestly, in JPEG, but I like to have a backup. With that said, you can see 9,000 photos. I can't believe I did that. Let's go over the first set of images I did. When I arrived, I had Vanusa with me, one of my muses. You all have seen her on my Instagram. So we did a quick photo shoot real quick. So I'm just going to bust right through these. I used the Z8 with the Nikon Z24 to 70, as you can see on the top left-hand corner. So I just went through, these were like me testing out the light. Then I added a 8600 I brought with me for some fill light. And this is where things started to really rock and roll right here. And I like what we're getting. This wasn't anything major. We were just having a good time killing time because I arrived like at 2 o'clock. The show's not until about 7. So we had a lot of time to kill. So we're like, all right, let's just take some photos. And the venue was really gorgeous. This is called the Green Room over at San Francisco City Hall. At least it's right across the street from it technically. And we just had a blast just taking some photos, just having fun. Nothing major, just something to post, for Instagram. She hasn't chosen her photos yet, so you're just seeing all the proofs. And as you can tell, I actually am doing all JPEG. When she sends me her selected images to edit, I will be editing those with RAW. So don't worry, I will be editing her photos in RAW. But for fast turnover and delivery, I actually edited and delivered all of my runway photos to the producer using the high-res JPEGs, okay? So I just wanted to see what it could do, but honestly, I was very impressed. There were, of course, certain limitations, dynamic range limitations, obviously with the color balance and certain other things. But overall, the JPEGs coming out of the Z9 was really awesome. I just had to minor adjust, let's say, rotation on the crop a little bit if it was a little crooked, as well as the exposure. But outside of that, I was really happy with it. So it's just something I wanted to try. In the past, I've always done raw, edit, and then delivered. But in this case, I decided to edit the JPEGs. Again, I still have the RAWs archived. Okay, so you're gonna look at everything right now. It will be JPEG out of the camera. These are right out of the Z8 right here. Okay, so you can see here it's a little underexposed, but that's exactly the way I want it. This one I edited. So check this one out. Before, after. Before, after. All inside of Lightroom. I edited this whole thing inside of Lightroom. And you can see right here, I was able to do a lot with just the JPEGs. So that says a lot, okay? What I can and cannot do. I removed the highlights because she already full makeup for like hours already. So perspiration and whatnot. I smoothed it out, took away some of this glare, as you can see. Boom, bada bing. And then I did some minor editing, which you can see right here. Okay, so well done to these JPEGs. I removed the object, and yeah. So there you go. I'm very happy that you can really push and pull and edit these JPEGs. My only thing is that you're going to be able to further edit the color tones of the skin way better using raw files, but you already know that. But overall, very happy. So let me just go back to here and get out of that. So go. All right. So here we are, right out of the JPEGs right out of the Z8. All right. So these were just some more we took. I like that. I like that. See, I would remove this right here for sure. That's going to go away later if you choose it. So see right here, this is a good example. So this is natural light. Okay, so you're going to get a blown out background. Something has to give because due to the exposure, the dynamic range of the camera. So either you get her face exposed or blow out the back or vice versa. So here we are, the opposite, the inverse. You get the background exposure looking good, and now she's pitch black, and then you add a flash, and then now you can see that's how you get high-speed sync. Okay, I'm at 2,000th of a second, and then I pop it with some flash, and now I know when I was looking at the back of this, of the Z8, I can recover, I can do all sorts of stuff, but that's how you're going to be able to get perfect exposure of the background and foreground is going to be high-speed sync flash. Shout out to Godak's 8600. Okay, you could do it with the 8200. That has high-speed sync. You could do it with the SB, what is it? The SB 910. Nikon flash. Okay, you could pop that. That has high-speed sync too. Any flash with HSS. So as you can tell, there we go. I'm getting my light. If I wanted to recover, I can. That's cool. That's kind of moody. That one's kind of cool. Let me see her eyes. Okay, that one might be better because I don't like her eyes. It's a little bit like she's in the middle blinking or something. Again, high-speed sync here. So we're just having fun. Nothing major. Just stuff. I really like this one a lot. 100%. That was not so bad. So there you go. You get the idea. You get the idea. All right. So that was just a little quick impromptu photo shoot. We were just trying to kill time using a Nikon Z8 as well as the Z24-70 millimeter f2.8 with the 8600. All right, now let's get to the runway photos.
mistake this for something that isn't real. How am I supposed to know everything that's going on in your mind? Well, if you need to take it slow, there's no reason to hold it all inside. Can you be honest? Can you be honest? I wanna be honest. I do. Can you be honest? I wanna be honest. Can you be honest? I wanna be honest. So can you be honest? I'm trying to let you. I'm trying to let you. Can you be honest? Can you be honest? I wanna be honest. I do. Can you be honest? I wanna be honest. Can you be honest? I wanna be honest. So can you be honest? I wanna be honest. I'm trying to let you know the way I feel. I don't want to mistake this for something that isn't real. How am I supposed to know everything that's going on in your mind? Well, if you need to take it slow, there's no reason to hold it all inside. Can you be honest? Can you be honest? I wanna be honest. I do. Can you be honest? I wanna be honest. Can you be honest?
Now, out of the 4,500, I whittled it down to 435 photos. And when I'm choosing photos, of course, I'm going to be shooting a lot. Everybody's shooting a lot on a runway. But what I do most is I want 2 photos that are for each model. One walking and one posing at the end of the runway. Okay? My goal is to display the fashion in its best light, not the model. The runway is not about the model. It's about the fashion. It's about the designer and accentuating the best look for that piece that the model's wearing. I may choose 1 or 2 extra because I'm giving these to a producer and let them use it. But my goal at minimum is 1 good walking shot and 1 good pose. That's it. So yes, 4,500 photos, and I may have taken 20 photos of one model, but I'm looking for those two. That's my goal. And you can see, I want walking, I want the pose. I want walking, pose, pose. I like this one better just because I like how A-shaped the dress is here. And this one you could tell because she moved and shifted her body weight. It doesn't look as nice. This one looks nice and flowy. So that's the one I would personally use, but I sent both of those, obviously. I love this walking. I love getting the X because when you get the X as they're walking down the runway, her hips look the best. Everything, the model looks awesome, and thus the wardrobe looks awesome. So that's my goal. Again, here you can see that she looks nice and tall. Dress looks great. And then again, these are the two walking, and then now posing. Pose. Boom. Walk. Right? And then here she goes with the pose. A little too much in my opinion, but you know, look, you want to look in the camera or straight ahead because we're recording video too, you know. Walking, pose. So you start to see the mathematics here, right? Walking, nice, tall, straight. Here she is. She's a great model here. She's an awesome model. You may have seen her on my live stream once in a while. Walking again, and then pose. Done. Okay? It's just that simple. This is what you're going for. You want dead center. You want enough room, enough negative space in case, depending on the publication or how the person tends to use it, they have room for crop. Do not crop close. Do not do this. Okay? Do not do this. And you want it like super perfect. No, and a good fat, no. Okay? I would not. Is that improper? No. But let's just say if you're shooting and you're hoping for a publication to use these, I would personally give them a little bit more space. Okay? And that's because you don't know how they intend to use it. Okay? For a cover, for a page, a full page spread, or they might put a bunch of these on one page, right? So anywho, that's just my advice. You do as you wish. There's no like law to this. Again, here, walking, posing, okay? Then we have here, walking. Again, see the X at the angle? That's my goal. I want that leg kicked out in the front. X, body looks great. Wardrobe looks great. Fill in the frame. Boom, pose, pose, okay? Now they used a spotlight, and that's why you can see this dark area. And that spotlight obviously is more circular, and they used two flags on the camera left, camera right, so it doesn't hit the audience, but it created these horrible shadows. So next year, I'm going to be all over it like white on rice to make sure we have proper, even lighting from the rooter to the tutor on the models, okay? Because this was annoying the hell out of me. I always like getting a wide shot at the end of each collection, so just in case they do not present the name of the model, name of the designer's collection, I can easily know as I'm going through my images when the end of that collection is, okay? So worst thing you want to do is post up some photos and then 2 or 3 of them happen to be the next designer, but you tagged the wrong designer. You just don't want that kind of headache. It's embarrassing. Mistakes happen, but you just don't want that. This is one easy way to be like, okay, that's the end of the show for that particular designer. And then therefore, here we go. Now we're going to start the new collection. So again, a nice wide shot. And plus I like including this beautiful background. Here we go. That was the walk-in. You can't tell. And then here we are at the pose. Pose. Okay. Any of these would be great to use. Again, with this spotlight that had no diffusion, was blowing out these whites like a blow pop. It was crazy. Okay. But kudos to them because usually a lot of local fashion shows don't have any lights. All right. So, hey, at least we got that. Here we go. I'm shooting at 200 mil, as you can, 130 mil here, but I'm shooting way down there. So with inverse square law, there was hardly any light down there. So you're seeing JPEG, okay, out of the Z9 at 130 millimeters. You can see I was really pushing it. 3200 ISO. It was a pain in my butt. I'll tell you that. Here we are, 170, and There we go, to get a nice established shot with some folks in there. Let's get to the fashion, shall we? These are some people just having fun. All right, here we go. Walking shot. See, you want them in the center, lower quadrant, if you will, of the frame, right? We all know the rule of thirds. Put them. You want a third, let's say 30% on the bottom underneath their foot, and then twice as much as you give space on the bottom of the foot to the bottom of the frame, twice as much above their heads for head space. That's how I've always done it, and it seems to work out as it does right here. Okay, enough head space, enough floor space. You don't want to cut it off. Just again, depending how you're gonna crop it later for social media, your website, a publication, you want out some latitude. Okay, so there we go. Again, see, walking, pose, pose, walking, pose, walking, pose. That's it. Walking, pose. And no. The producer doesn't need all of the photos. You have to educate them. You don't need it. This is what I'm doing. Okay? And put your foot down. Trust me. They'll respect you in the long run because they know they're in the presence of a professional. You've been there. You've done it. You know what time it is. Thankfully, I have. Not as big as other photographers, but I've had enough experience and I've owned my own fashion magazine for 3 years to know what does and what does not work. What are the expectations when publications are looking at the images and how they plan to use them? Because I was the one designing the layouts. This is going to give you very usable images for whoever you're delivering them to. But make your life simple. 2 photos. Walking, pose. Walking, pose. All right? Walking, pose. Walking, pose. Pose. I wasn't sure which one the designer may like or not like. Okay? Walking, pose. Keep it simple. All right? So this was the feature designer at the end. Tupaz. I forgot his first name. I'm so sorry. I feel like an idiot. But as soon as this came out, I was like, yeah, it's about to go down. Okay? Little difficult with the 3 models just because of the fact that the spotlight. So as soon as they got closer to us, it got really bad real quick. Anyway, again, JPEGs right out of the Z9. These are nice. I adjusted the white balance. That was the difficult part using JPEG. And I adjusted some other things. But overall, I was happy. So you can see right here, camera left, that dark, that's not me. It's not the camera. That is the spotlight. And if the model didn't hit the mark, which is right there, so if she shifted her weight to the left, to her left, she would be totally totally well exposed. Okay, there's a good example there. Model walking and then posing. And see, the mark is right here on her right foot, which was hard to see. And the person who set it up, I don't know why I used black tape. They did. That's why next year I told her I'm going to be all over this runway like one of these floor panels. I'll tell you that. Good. Look at that. Boom. She's in the light, well exposed. So you can see here, camera right, that light, and camera left. Somewhere it must be right over here. And now she's in the dark. Okay. And she's well exposed. It wasn't like that on purpose. It was just due to the light. They used flags so that the people, the attendees, won't be hit by this bright light. But overall, models look great. The wardrobe looks phenomenal. Super awesome. And they're pretty hot and tall. There you go. Okay. Here we go. Look at this. Very cool. That's I like that one. Let me see. 1, 2. I like this one. That's a cool one too. Okay, so you can see right there. And just let's as soon as this thing loads, there we go. Boom. JPEG. Okay, and that is at 100? What are we at? At 100. Whoops. There we go. Okay. Z9. Let's look at it as it was walking for the 350th of a second, ISO 3200, JPEG, Z9, let's look while moving. I had this on 3D tracking. 3D tracking. Autofocus continuous. Not shabby at all. Only thing is I know it'd be tack sharp using if I went to my raw file just because, excuse me, I think they add some processing and I did not take off anti-flicker, which I should have. That's a lesson learned. That was totally my bad. I noticed when I shot higher shutter speeds above 500, you would start to see banding. Okay, that was totally my fault because I should have had that in mind when I saw that horrible spotlight. It was a crazy day. Next time, that was totally my bad. And normally at local fashion shows, I'd bring a speed light, which I did, and I thought I'd be using it. But then since they had this bright old LED spotlight, I thought we'd be good. I didn't put one and one together, so I never turned on the anti-flickering. I never messed with those features in the Z9. And so once I went underneath 500th of a second, especially 350, 200, it was very minimal, and it for sure was minimal when they got closer. It was way more apparent when they were further down in the runway. Okay, but that's the nature of a mirrorless camera. We all know what time it is when it comes to that. But I want to admit that, hey, I make mistakes too. That was one of them, and I won't be doing that again. Overall, autofocus snapped, did its job. Here we are again. Walk, pose. Okay, walk. Okay, I think she was doing too much at the end. That's why I only got one walk of her. I love this. I love the way this draping was. This was awesome. Look at that, like a bat or something. But it was pretty cool. Okay, walk. There we go. And then pose. That's it. Keep it simple. Pose. So I may have took 15 photos while walking to get that right one or the best one. And then I'll wait here. Snap, 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 for each of the poses and then just choose the best of the best. Here we go. This is way down the runway. Got a little closer. Light got better. I definitely like this. Again, I love the cross when I can get it. The cross of the ankle as walking, whether it be foot up or back foot up, just coming off the ground. And then pose. Yes, these models gave me great opportunities. Here's my muse, Vanusa, looking like fire. There she is, tall, confident, looking like a boss. Cross at the ankle. Pose, pose, done. Again, look at this, okay? Great models. These models were not playing. Pose and a winner. And here's some other, look at this dress. I really love this one. This was crazy. This was like straight up Wakanda. I loved it. Look at that. That's a walk, and then cool, now we're at pose. 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 The framing, again, that black part is due to the light. I try to maintain the same kind of framing. Whatever amount of space on the bottom, times it by 2 roughly up top for head space. Okay. This got a little difficult because they were showing off the draping and the volume of the piece. So you just have to time it best. I like this, nice and tall, looking straight. I got a wide shot. You see everybody just like, ooh, ah. That's a good shot. She'll love that. Pose. Okay, this was another gorgeous one. Fantastic draping. This is awesome stuff. I love photographing it. See, that's the one I like. Cross at the legs. And then pose. Okay. Cross, looking great, looking awesome. Ideally, one of the feet being up will at least to help to communicate motion and that she moved forward. But either way, she looks great. Pose. Okay. And I just figured they would like to see the back shot because that's a lot of detail going on there. And whether you be the designer or not, you would appreciate getting a photo like that. So I always think of that. And again, just like I do, I end off that collection with a horizontal shot of the final walk by the models. And that's the way I end it. And here's the designer. Kudos to him. He did a fantastic job. Collection looked beautiful, elegant, and fantastic. Okay, I hope this helped you out in any particular way, or at least was a little entertaining for you. A little preview on how I get down when it comes to shooting runways, but also how I process and select the best images and learn from my mistakes. Because guess what? I make plenty of them. And guess what? You will too. It's all good. Just learn, admit it, own it, learn from it, and move forward, and it's all good. That's part of the photography process. That's what makes this fun, and it always is a challenge. Trust me, it's always a challenge. This coming week, I have 2 fashion shows I'll be shooting to help support Pride, San Francisco week, and I'm really excited about that. So I may just try to go live or something. At least I'll bring you some sort of content from those fashion shows, so stay tuned for that. If you have any questions about fashion photography or about how to capture the best images on a runway, just let me know. Post your comments down below. If you have any questions about my gear, my settings, all that, just let me know. Harass me, it's all good. I also want to let you know that there will be a link to the final edited images of the runway photos down below. Okay, all you got to do is click that link down below. It'll take you to my website, and you can see the high-res final edited JPEG versions that I took with the Z9 and Z8 down below. If you enjoyed this video and you would like to see more, don't forget to press that like, that share, that subscribe, and yes, please smash that bell icon to get notifications for my upcoming videos. I'm Robert Silver, and until next time, keep shooting and stay creative.